Okay, it's part two of how college has affected me personally. I went through the whole emotional stuff and how people are essentially jerks and I don't really have any friends. And I won't lie and say I have friends because that's kind of lame. If people want to say it's because I'm weird, that's fine. Go ahead. I could show you my brain scan from when I was like 6 or 7. That would actually prove it. You could say I'm weird, and I'll just say, well, I can't help it. It's genetics, man. But yeah, college is not the experience you expect it to be. A lot of people who are not like the popular hot types will find this out very quickly. Um, I honestly think there should be an outsiders in college, like the college rejects convention. Where all the ones who are rejected by the college stratification, when it comes to the social stratification layers, can get together and just talk about how it's affected them. I will say that besides stuff I mentioned in the previous video, it has taught me to be stronger in a way that, actually emotionally, because I have to get critiques all the time. It's taught me to laugh off half of the crap they say because that's the only way you're going to make it without trying to off yourself. That doesn't mean it doesn't eventually come and get me. And I don't, it's not that I haven't tried once or twice or 3 times, but seeing as I was like suicidally depressed for a few years way back when I was like between 10 and 10 and 14, that was something relatively easy to handle. And it doesn't mean I haven't had a few breakdowns. That's another thing college has taught me. You'll have breakdowns if you don't have friends when you go in, because you won't get them when you're in college. And you'll have mental breakdowns. And unless you have video games, you are probably going to crack due to stress. That is something that I found is the only savior is my books and my video games. And that may sound silly, but it is literally the only thing that has kept me sane. Because the college atmosphere is so much like high school in so many ways. And it didn't affect me as badly as high school because people do talk to me, unlike in high school, but it has affected me, as I said in the previous video, in like self-esteem ways. I think I mentioned get a cat, get a dog, they'll love you. um, I've observed many, many, many people. I've talked to many people about my height issue, and um, getting a job when you're 23 and you've only had a few temp jobs since you sent one temp job since you graduated high school is kind of hard. And when you talk to people, and another thing, do not expect people to be encouraging to you in college. I've learned that the hard way. They've openly asked me, why can't you get a job? And I said, well, I live in a small town. I wasn't born there. Oh, yeah, and they discriminate based on height. And they're like, no, they don't. And I said, okay, look at me, look at you. That's another thing. People are really blind to heightism in high school, in college and high school, and in college especially. People don't believe heightism exists, and I had to explain it to them like in a very in-depth way and actually act out how people have reacted to me in interviews. It's not that I can't get an interview, it's that they won't hire me based on the height, and there's a particular reaction that shows that. Yes, I know you're upset. Oh shoot, that's my alarm. Give me a minute. Baby. She might move. Oh crap. Yes, you got to see the kitty. So yeah. Oh no, she's back. So yeah, that sort of thing. They don't believe it because if you have any sort of um, vertical issue, and most people in college do not have vertical issues, people don't understand. And again, don't expect help, don't expect compassion. Most people won't be compassionate. I think I mentioned in another video that I had a complete suicidal breakdown in the hall about 3 months ago, and I actually had a X-Acto knife and was slowly, you could almost call it caressing my hand as if I was testing. And my mind, I was imagining doing this. And I know where to hit if I want to off myself. And literally 10, 15 people walked through the hall and saw me doing this and didn't do anything. And I don't normally do this. And I think they were hoping I would do it. And then one person comes by and stops me. I'm like crying in the hallway. I've broken down. There are various factors, but I freaking broke down. And what's interesting is, I do this, nobody does anything. Somebody they know is crying or is breaking down or something, they rush to their side. So yeah, in college, unless you're part of the little cliques, don't expect any compassion. Don't expect any friends. Don't expect anything, even from the teachers. Also, do not expect teachers to admit that the cliques exist. That's another thing. Do not expect it. They will never admit it. Um. So that's yeah. How does that affect me? Well, obviously, emotionally, that doesn't help my maturity level. I'll admit, emotionally, I am more around the age of 14 or 15 ish at some level. Luckily, my frontal lobe is far more developed. But, people notice that in college. If you were ostracized and were not able to age emotionally like you're supposed to, people notice in college. And again, you won't get any sympathy. They'll just treat you like shit. Be prepared for that. Be prepared for a bunch of lies, a bunch of frustrating peers, financial woes, yeah. Another thing college did. Okay, I was recovering anorexic when I got in, okay? Now, I'm exposed on a daily basis, or 4 days a week, to thin girls. Lots of really thin girls. And some of them starve themselves, and some of them probably have a high metabolism. So, within about a year, I started starving myself again. And I'm coming out of 3-4 years of starvation now, again. No, 2 years of starvation. I'm actually eating, sort of. But I'm still not eating enough. So I openly admit it triggered me. Like that. So that's how it's affecting me as well. How else? Body image. Oh my god. If you have BDD, college will be your worst freaking nightmare. My body image is so freaking distorted. It was distorted ahead of time, but at least it was distorted by Mortal Kombat body, affected image, which means at least it was somewhat realistic and muscle based. Now it's so distorted that I can't even go to a mirror at this point, or I will literally bash myself. I mean, I'm not joking. Oh, and before anyone says you can't be anorexic because you're not super thin, I weigh 107 pounds, and the width of my waist is this. Let me move this in front of the camera. Probably thinner, actually, because I actually got food in my stomach right now. So, yeah. Body image hasn't been helped. Psychologically, it hasn't helped at all. I still listen to my Blind Melon because it still describes me so well. Yeah, college is nothing like I expected. And it won't be what you expect either. Again, it's my personal experience. It's my personal experience that people are douchebags. I refused to use a locker because I had a staff locker when I was working through the college, and somebody stole my t-shirt and my ID 3 times. I have had, cell phones stolen 3 times. Thank goodness they've never figured out that I have an iPod. I mean, it's one of those situations where my college experience has been, I'd say 30% good and 70% bad. And this is just like a 2-part rant on it. And I mean, from my personal opinion, college again is just worth it academically, but social wise, it's too much. I mean, people don't want to be with you unless you're the conformist popular type, and obviously I'm screwed there. So, this is just Sammy Wheeler and the end of my How College Has Affected Me So Far rant. When I graduate, I'll probably do a happy dance randomly in front of the camera. And then you guys get to see how overly thin my body is.